Hello and welcome, third lesson of FLStudio. In this lesson we'll be talking about piano roll, we'll be playing with piano roll, about chords, selection and volume, but mainly chords. And these are not chords spelled without H, like this. This is spelled with CH, that's three sounds together. What do they look like? Well, they look way less complicated than we would see on proper music sheet. Right? This is the proper way to write a chord, but for us it's just three sounds. Three sounds starting with a C here, in this case, three spaces, E, two spaces, G. See? C, E, G. These three notes make C major. This is called C major. This chord is called C major. Why C? Because it's most important note. It's called the root of the chord. Is called C. So if we were to shift it a couple of notes, and for example start with a D here, it would be called a D major. But this would, you know what? I'll demonstrate actually on FLStudio. So let's make our C major. There's C. Then wait a minute. What was it? What was it again? D, E. Of course, I know that. Yeah, that's F. D, E, G. Okay, these are a bit quiet. And we have a fix for that. See this fella here? Look, as I drag it up and down, look how how this line on each note changes. Right? It changes, each note becomes louder or quieter. Now I'm dragging all the three notes at the same time in this case because they're just overlapping. So there's no way I can control that. But look how much it changed now. Let me actually drag it. You can hear the difference, certainly. Now, what was I saying? If we were to shift this chord to, say, E major, it's actually pretty easy. Let's just select. Now watch what I did. I clicked selection. This is the selection tool. Whenever you see this in FLStudio, it means selection. It's selected. But if I start messing with it right now, I will just redo my selection. So we have to choose pencil. The same pencil we used to write notes. Oh dear, what have I done? My selection was deselected because I clicked somewhere else than the selection. Okay, pencil, and I'm dragging it up. Look how C changed to C sharp, D, E. Alright? It changed, the notes changed, I just dragged them up, but the spacing between the notes stayed the same. It would be pretty tricky on piano keyboard, but on FLStudio it's super easy. You just drag them up or down and the chord changes, alright? What I can do also is Control C. I just pressed Control C and Control V, and I have another selection. This is my chord, say in C, and then Control V again. Whoa, we're making plenty of chords today. That won't be the most captivating tune, but you know what? Let me copy it again and place it in C again, because I'm trying to salvage whatever is this melody. Actually not too bad. Alright, what I will do, however, is try to move these around. Let's move these middle sounds a tiny bit to the right. Yeah, not too bad. How about moving this fella here? Okay. Two spaces, two spaces, two spaces, everywhere two spaces. Alright, nice. Actually, in history of music, there was a gentleman that already experimented with it and came up with something really interesting. But you know what? About him a moment later. Now I want you to have a look at this chord. Actually, this chord. It's a completely different chord. If you look at these two closely, I moved one sound. Can you see it? Yes, the middle sound has moved one space lower, one note lower. And if we change the spacing, if there's 2 spaces and 3 spaces here, we call it minor chord. So this is C minor. It still starts with C. The root is C, but it's C minor because this important note has moved down. Let's have a look at our FLStudio. What if I select all these chords? Oh, I have to press Shift now. I'm holding Shift so I can select multiple notes. Alright, I selected my middle notes and now I'm dragging them down with the pencil. Just one space. Bam! All of them moved simultaneously. Magic. And let's play them. Now, these chords changed from major to minor. Remember this difference? From major to minor. What does it mean in music? Well, let's listen. It's a completely different melody, right? Now let's move them up. Alright. So minor chords are kind of more, well, mysterious, and some would say sad. Many musicians would say if you want to carry some sort of meaning, use a minor chord, right? The major chords are very predictable and happy. Right, so we covered minor chords, major chords. We covered how to change velocity of notes. You know what? Maybe I should differentiate between the notes and my chords, just like that, just like in the picture here. Alright, let's grab these. Despite me having selected all the notes, I'm changing velocity only of the notes I'm dragging, alright? That's how it works. So I'm leaving the root of the chord. I can't select this one. That's because of my selection. Great experiment. Okay, and now I have to select pencil. Alright, pencil selected. I'm dragging volume. Velocity. So the root, the first note of each of those chords is to the top, is loudest, and then it goes quieter. So let's listen. Let's have a listen. See, this one is kind of accented. There's stress on this note. Okay, so we've learned something about the volume, right? Let's have a look at Mr. Domenico Alberti enters the stage to the right. This gentleman was famous for having achieved nothing remarkable. Well, I'm sure there were plenty of remarkable things apart from Alberti bass. This is something that's named after him, and it will remain so forever because Mozart was very fond of this arrangement. So first you keep the root, then the sound that was the highest in the chord, then the middle one, and the highest again. Alright? Let's change whatever I wrote here to resemble what was there. So I'll move this note here. I'll move this note here. It has to look like this. Root, the highest sound, middle, highest. Alright? They have their names, but I don't want to confuse you. So right now we'll just call it highest and middle. See what I mean? Okay, so Alberti bass, if you remember this sequence, actually I should probably have it visible. Copy and paste, we covered that. I should probably have it visible here in the challenge as a kind of a slight cheat sheet, just in case you forgot. This is the challenge. Take C major chord and turn it into Alberti bass. And play around with the volume. So see, the root is the loudest and the volume increases afterwards. And copy these 4 sounds to the right and shift these up and down to get these chords: C major, G major, F major, and A minor. Okay, there's a minor chord here. There's a trap. Remember, minor chord gets this one note lower, right? So how do I shift C major into G major? I have to shift it a couple of notches until this little letter C here becomes a letter G, right? It's easy as that. In fact, I should probably show it to you on FLStudio. I select this fella here, that's E, and I forget to switch to pencil, E, and I just switched it to, F, there you go. I was supposed to do C, G, F, A. C, then G, this would be here obviously, and then F, and then A minor, alright? C, G is all the way here, F lower, a bit lower, and A is way above G, alright? Alright, it's probably a good time to pause the video here, have a look at this, try to copy it, and I'll see you in a few moments once you've completed your challenge. Alright, I hope you gave it a go. Here's a spoiler alert. Well, probably you've done it already, so it's not much of a spoiler. Just in case you didn't, this is the spoiler. And let's have a look at what I did in this pattern. Is that my Alberti bass pattern? Scroll up and down. See how I'm trying to encompass the entire music piece with by stretching this piece, this scroll bar. A word of explanation: I did something strange here. Look, I have an E sound here, and in accordance with Alberti bass rule, it should be here. And I just dragged it from E5 to E4, which is perfectly acceptable. It's still the same chord. I just thought it would sound cooler. Alright, let's play it. Start with smaller intervals. That's good. Alright. I hope it worked out for you. I hope you'll be able to experiment with some chords now. Some major versus minor. See if you can come up with completely new compositions that nobody else came up with in the past. This chord progression from C, G, F, A minor, you will see it in so many songs. That's unbelievable. It's super popular. And maybe you can actually spot it whenever you're listening to the radio. I would be very much interested if you manage to spot it. Okay, thank you all for watching, and I hope this was helpful. Bye.